Today's episode of Spike's Car Radio Live at Luft 8 is sponsored in part by CollectingCars.com. Live for bids right now, a 2018 911 991 GT3, a beautiful car, lava orange, 991.2 generation 911 GT3. If you're looking for that, only 5,000 miles on it. They also have a beautiful race-inspired Audi Sport TCR touring car, the 2018 Audi RS3 LMS TCR, a car that won the 2022 Sports Car Championship in Canada, taking several podium spots. Under the hood, 330 horsepower. Plenty of great stuff at CollectingCars.com. Go there right now. Check it out. If you're buying, if you're selling, if you're just window shopping, CollectingCars.com. Let's start the show.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Feresten. Now, here's Spike.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Luftgekuhlt 8. It's nice to be here with all of you at the coolest Porsche event. I feel like it's visiting Mecca, a religious event of some kind. This is our crew, our most obsessed Porsche folks, and we're so psyched to be here with you. We're going to record a live show of Spike's Car Radio. We're doing it right now. You guys are going to be part of it. At the end, maybe in about 30 minutes, I'll have you come up. We'll take a picture, and the show will be posted next Wednesday. And that's it. You're going to see how we make the show. It's a very simple thing, and we want you guys involved. There's going to be a question at the end, a chance for you guys to win Zuckerman heads, a big stack of them. So if you want to come up when I call you up, feel free to do so. But right now, I want to bring out the guy who's responsible for today with Patrick Long. Jeff Zwart is here.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Jeff. First of all, amazing show once again. How is it going for you today?
Well, now that all the cars are static and sitting here in spaces, it's definitely can relax a little bit. But to see the crowd turn out and come into this space and look at kind of all the things that have been set up here, and we have a fantastic team here with Patrick leading us to get all these cars in place and kind of create photographic moments for you at the same time. It's a very special event for me.
Right. How much, there's a lot of merch for sale inside. Is that what this is all about?
It's all about merch. No, seriously, I say that out of these things, my best compliment for me is when somebody takes the photo I set up to shoot.
Oh, that's
I just
great.
don't get to take any pictures. So.
How did you choose RS as a theme?
Well, it's the 50th anniversary. So literally of the 73 RS coming out in October, it was a very special moment to kind of gather these together. And once we started having the nucleus of this, the beginnings of 3 white cars with 3 different colors graphics of red, green, and blue, it was like, oh, we have the core of this. Let's just expand and show everything from 964 to 993s. This room is probably one of the largest collections of RSs around. So.
Yeah, it's an amazing show. It really is an amazing show. I just wanted to bring you up before we started to just say thank you from everyone out here. Thank you for this. This is by far my favorite car event in the world.
Well, thanks, Spike.
And I've seen them all.
I'm sure you have. But
Jeff Zwart, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's make an episode of the show. With me today, Mr. Paul Zuckerman, Mr. Jonny Lieben, Mr. Matt Farrer. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. We are doing this so that the folks who can't make it to the show this week get to hear what it's all like. What do you guys think? Luft is the intersection of air-cooled Porsche events, people and cool cars that come together and create legendary storylines. What is Luft to you, Matt Farrer?
Well, I can be impressed by the fact that this is the first and only car show I've ever been to where tickets are scalped. The scalping going on.
Is that true?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Were there scalpers out
there
front?
were scalpers literally out front.
Oh, come on.
I got tickets over here. Who needs 2?
Really?
Yes, and just like the cars, they were 30 over. I mean, it was crazy. The number of people that DM me on Instagram going, do you know anyone buying? Mm-hmm. Do you know anyone selling? And how can I make a buck off being in
I
the
had
middle?
a similar thing. Everybody's like, well, everyone's like, hey, I need a ticket. I go, remember 5 weeks ago when I said if you need a ticket, let me know? And they're like, but now I need one. And then it's like, how do I buy one? It's $300 a ticket. I heard somebody paid like $550 for one ticket, which is, pretty, I won't say who that is, but pretty nuts.
That's
Scalping
incredible.
car show tickets, baby. That's Hollywood.
And Jeff said there are about 4,000 people here already. If they didn't limit it, what do you think this would get to?
I don't know. There's got to be more than 4. There's 4,000 right there.
I know. It's really incredible. What did you guys bring?
I brought a GT4, a brand new one.
That's not air-cooled.
Yeah, it's Wassergekuhlt, you know.
What is this the new GT4?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's, the current GT4.
Are you reviewing it?
I said to Porsche, hey, Luft is coming up. You got anything with 2 doors I could borrow? And they said, would a GT4 work? I said, can I have it tomorrow? And it all worked out.
What about you, Matt Farah?
I rode an air-cooled motorcycle. I don't like lines in my parking, so I like to go around traffic.
What motorcycle?
Just pull in. I rode a Honda CX500 Turbo.
Wow.
Which is the first ever turbocharged production motorcycle.
Unbelievable.
Double air. Air-cooled and air-propelled.
Air-cooled, turbocharged, V-twin, shaft drive. Weird.
Sounds
Weird
reliable.
bike.
What
Weird
about you,
bike.
Zuckerman?
Well,
Tell everybody what we came in.
We came in a 1998 Turbo, a European car, a package car, a WLS2 XLC. That is a GT2 engine, 4-wheel drive, 993 turbo. Ocean blue metallic with navy blue interior.
And that's the last year of air-cooled Porsches.
That's the last year.
Strategic.
Last of the last.
Strategic.
Yes.
Let's talk about how different this show is than most car shows that we go to. Like, all of us were just up in Pebble, right? With Swiggins and Peabody, with the fancy folks. And most of those people are here, but this is way more comfortable for some reason.
It's comfortable. You can drink here. You can be an alcoholic here. You can fit right in with the rest of the crowd.
You can wear shorts and not feel bad about it, which I should have done.
Well,
I don't know. I don't like shorts at a car show. I don't think that's appropriate.
I think it's fine.
Appropriate.
If it's hot, it's hot.
What would you say, Zuckerman?
No shorts. I don't want to see men's legs. Never. No.
I mean, what you see here that you don't see a lot of other places is, like Jeff said, it's those Instagram friendly moments, right?
Yeah.
You don't usually have the photographer, the director setting up the show with the kind of attention to detail. I mean, even at the Quail, where tickets are $1,000 and Bugatti is spending $1 million on a stage and there's champagne and caviar for everybody. It's not set up in this beautiful, choreographed, set design kind of way. And so what this show celebrates differently from other shows are the aesthetic. I mean, this might as well be the Leica Nationals. We could have our own category of judging for cameras and shoulder straps.
Yeah, well, my kids are here with me, and they took one picture, and they said, "Dad, look at this." And I went, "Great." It really wasn't their photographic skills. It was the way everything was laid out.
Yeah.
And you're right. The Quail and Pebble Beach, they try to take these beautiful machines and put them in a more beautiful setting. And that's not what happens here. They're trying to put them in a cool spot so that the car stands out.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you've put cars in a car show, right? They usually get like the youngest guy making the least money to just like park there, and you just stack them up, and there's no thought whatsoever.
Yeah, this is sprawling and just beautiful.
Well, and
Absolutely
cars are
beautiful.
dimensional. We have a vertical element. You have a car on the ground. You have a car on the ramp. You have a car on the loading dock. There's a more three-dimensional layout to all of it.
Luft, I don't know if you remember the first year at Luft, at Deus.
I didn't go to that. I went to Bandito Brothers. That was number 2.
I drove by Deus. I remember there weren't enough spots, and we were like, what are these guys doing? And
It was very obvious that was too small of a lot pretty quickly. Deus holds like 7 cars.
Well, that's too small of a lot to get coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where does this thing go? Does it turn into a political movement of some kind? I mean, it gets bigger and bigger, and clearly if they're hawking tickets out front and scalping them, you've got a bigger audience there. What do you do with something like this?
I mean, it's a hard show to take on the road because you got to move all these cars, right? So you got to rely on like what the local supply is. Maybe you can truck a few in,
right?
Like that, Ingram's 550 Spider that, came from somewhere else. But I don't know. What do you do, and what location do you get? Like,
it wouldn't be what it is without the concentration of interesting Porsches in Southern California.
Right.
There's definitely some cars from out of town, but the fact that we have such a variety of older, newer, different colors, different body styles, different everything here.
There's a blue 912 in the parking lot. I had to go get the Zuckerman head stickers out of my car, and like it should be right here. It's friggin' gorgeous. Wow. Blue, dark blue with like gold trim. Like fantastic.
Every great Porsche is within 50 miles of where we are right now.
Yeah,
everything.
I've always liked the inclusivity of this event. The weirdness of people walking around Zuckerman with your face on shirts over there is a bizarre moment, I think, for all of us. But the idea that, I remember the first time I came to one of these, that nobody was going to tell you what's wrong with your car. It wasn't a concours, there was no judging, there was no award. It was just this shared affection for air-cooled machines. And you might see $1 million car right next to a car that might be a sub-$10,000 car. And that's what I've always really, truly appreciated about this event.
That's a good insight, the fact that there's no judging. Like, everything that's here belongs here, and that's just how it is.
That said, why do you think Porsche ended air-cooled cars?
Go ahead, Lieberman. You're an expert on this.
I mean, it was emissions was a huge part of it. Also, power. I mean, we know that like with 4 liters, about the max you can do on street gas is 430 horsepower, and then that's like tuned to within an inch of its life, probably running race fuel. So time has moved on. The 959 proved that like, okay, you can water cooled heads, but really to make world killing power, you need to go Wassergekuhlt.
Could we ever do it again, Matt?
Well, some people are still doing it. I mean, you still find air-cooled motorcycles. Mm-hmm. You still find air-cooled industrial stuff. But in a high-performance situation, I think we've found more efficient ways to make power. But it's a very charming, pseudo-vintage, experience that lends itself well to a variety of driving conditions,
Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Taste the Goodness of the Biscuit music, and you know what? It's great. One reason it's great to listen to, that's because I'm listening on my Raycon wireless earbud biscuits. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever with optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. These earbuds are so comfortable, and they will not budge. Trust me, Raycons give you 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Raycons are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It's no wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have earned over 50,000 5-star reviews. You have 3 customizable sound profiles, earbud tap functions, noise isolation, and more. Just go to buyraycon.com today and use code SPIKE911. You'll get 15% off your Raycon order. That's code SPIKE911 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off. Buyraycon.com, code SPIKE911.
We're celebrating the history of the RS, the Rennsport. Many of us think that means, hello, sir. Yeah, that's all right. Nothing disruptive about this. Just feel free to come up here and do whatever you like.
He's the head of cars at Pixar, by the way. That's Jay Ward. Yeah.
Come on back.
Well, I'll make sure in a Fudgy the Whale movie, I come up and stand in front of the screen. When I think of the RS, I think of the 73 RS, but really the quintessential badge goes back to 1957. When it first appeared on the 718, and then the 550A,
which is down over there.
Yeah,
there's one in the wooden box over there.
Yes. Zuckerman, what makes an RS so desirable?
It's almost ineffable. It's that perfect combination, of weight and power handling, the feel of the car. The immediacy, if you get into a 73 RS, it's amazing that even today, it's a fast car and it's a telepathic car. You want to be going a certain speed and be over in a certain direction in a certain lane, you're going to be there, right? It just has a feel that is so hard to replicate.
What are your favorite RS cars? I mean, if you could have anything. If you had to pick one RS.
One
here,
RS
or anywhere
here. The 2011. You're not gonna like this because it's water cooled, but the 2011 RS 4-liter, the 4.0. That is about as good as sports cars get.
That's the best car I've ever driven.
Yeah.
And he sold it. He had two. He had two, and
I
he
had
sold
two.
it.
I made two mistakes.
Yeah. Because he likes money. That's why.
Should have held on. He'd have a lot more money.
The 73 inside, that green car, I don't think it's Conda. I think it's
Signal.
Signal green?
Those are so hard to tell. It could be Signal.
That's an outstanding RS. The GT2 RS is an outstanding RS. I've driven some of the older ones. They're lovely, but you wouldn't drive them so much.
But the comparison is always to the 73. The 73 is the touchstone.
That's
it's
the one.
It's the one that you go to and say, does this car deliver on what the 73 delivers?
Yeah.
And they're also not like unicorns. Like, the original 911R, they made 20. The RS was it was limited production, but there was enough that they're around and people could experience them, and like 911R, very, very rare. RS is more common, so it splits something nicely down the middle.
Right. Matty, let's talk about what you're hot rodding right now.
My car?
Yeah. Where are we with this Spider?
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
I think I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's done, and they're putting miles on it. So I bought a new Boxster Spider. The first one went down on the boat. They built another one. They sent it to me. I sent it to a place called Demand Motorsport in New York. They took out the engine, took out the transmission. It's a 4.5 liter, 568 horsepower, naturally aspirated, 6 with shortened second through fifth gears, and it has the power to weight of a Carrera GT. It's frozen berry metallic, which is like ice cream pink. And it's going to be delightful. And it's going to be out here in about 3 weeks. And it's my first brand new Porsche. I'm very excited. It's done, yeah.
It's not here.
It's not here, no.
Why not keep it stock? Why not just enjoy that?
Because that car is fantastic. It's a great car, but it's not as good as it could be.
Right.
And so having driven all of what is available, driven the final product of what they're doing, I've driven a finished one. I know what I'm getting. And once it's got these things, then it is as good as it can be.
There's Patrick Long, everybody.
Hey, Patrick.
Also
world's
responsible.
fastest
A round of
ginger.
applause for Patrick.
Yes.
Okay, so if you're making...
Yes, Patrick, come on up. What do you got?
Trying to bust the guy in the green Vespa this morning.
What makes you think you can make a better Porsche than Porsche?
I don't think I can make a better Porsche than Porsche. I think having driven all of the Porsches, and Jonny could agree with me, that one of the things that holds back the GT4 and the Boxster Spider is gearing that is longer than it needs to be.
So it's funny you say that because I have that GT4 and I took it up Angeles Crest on Friday. And it's just such a sweet car, except you're in third gear, you get to 7,000 RPM, the torque runs out, you really want to go to redline before you shift, and it's like, brake for the corner, and you never get there.
And they've made those choices for a variety of reasons, whether it's fuel economy or emissions or sound.
Or that's the part they had laying around.
Or that's the gearbox they had laying around, and by changing that to something that's better based on my experience.
I mean, I've never driven a Demon, or how's it pronounced? Demand. But I drove a Sharkworks GT4 with the shortened gears.
Yeah.
And it went from it was the first gen GT4, which I was never a big fan of, to one of the best cars I've ever driven just by changing second gear.
Yeah, these are solved issues. I'm just putting them in my own car. It's not that I can do better. It's that they've done an amazing job, but a little more power couldn't hurt, and some shorty gears couldn't hurt.
I just heard it on Instagram. You posted the engine starting for the first time, and it sounded pretty great.
It sounds like a GT3.
Yeah. And what kind of exhaust does it have on it?
But with more power.
It's Fab Speed headers with cats and a stock muffler.
Yeah. Zuckerman, you must be happy sitting in the sun. By the way, this was Zuckerman's idea for us to show up here today.
Yeah,
and now he's being tortured by his own idea. Are you happy with the outcome, Zuckerman?
I want to be home. Please, just
we
let me go
couldn't have
home.
done it on the shady side.
Yeah.
No one calculated
on that side.
Nobody calculated
right
this.
there.
schwitzing like a chasa.
It's like performing at a farmer's market right now. It's like people are ordering blueberries, walking around. Who are these guys?
I do like how there's 11 people paying attention. Everyone else is like eating their tacos.
There are a lot of folks here.
And you said no to every suggestion I've ever had for the show, and with good cause.
And I wanted to turn the page and try to take one of your suggestions, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah,
I'll never do it again.
Huge mistake.
No, it's good. It's
Let me
fine.
ask you guys something. There are some companies here exhibiting their products. We've got the Singer DLS and the Turbo over there. We've got the new Gunther Works Turbo on the other side
Project
over there.
Hurricane.
We've got my pal Lee Keane with a Safari under the tree here.
Russell's here.
TJ Russell with the Russell built Baja 911 over there. There's a lot
Rod
being
Emery?
done. Oh yeah, Rod's
Emery's
got
walking
cars
around.
here, and probably some others that I've forgotten. Workshop 5001 is here somewhere. What do you guys like in terms of turnkey air-cooled builds?
Well,
I know you're all stock people,
I'm
but
a stock guy.
hard to beat Gunther. Like they're just really good. Impossible to beat Workshop 5001, except no one knows about them. But if you're listening,
Impossible.
and you have $1 million, man, that's a good car.
I haven't driven that car.
You got to drive it. It's
Gunther-
right by his house. They're so good.
Right.
But the Singer,
I haven't driven one. Couldn't comment on
I mean,
that.
it has to be. They're all so different, Matt. I mean,
Yeah.
the Baja 911 is a wonderful creation, but compared
that's
to
some
a
of the
Singer,
most fun I've ever had
The
in a
Gunther
car.
Works cars are amazing. They're strung up like race cars, though. They're really high strung and sometimes a little too much for the road. But
they're very aggressive on the road.
they're very
they
aggressive.
keep dialing them back. They listen. They keep dialing them back, so they're not like it's not a race car.
Not really. They say
The last
they
one
do,
I drove had
and then
no glass or heat.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I had to wear a
not a
kidney
race
belt.
wow.
Yeah, it's rough. But they are, when you drive them, if you like that attention from
Right.
the world, you're going to get a ton of attention.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I think at that price point, I'm just going to say it. I respect these guys. They do great work. I'm fascinated by their work. But at that price point, I'm looking at some 3.8 964 RSs over there that I could get into. I'm looking at a yellow one and a red one, and I'm saying that'd be pretty
What is
fantastic.
the new Singer? The new Singer's
It's $1 million.
Yeah.
I thought it was 1.8.
Oh, the DLS.
The DLS is
the
1.8,
DLS,
yeah.
which is the bare carbon one with the
Right.
Williams designed heads,
yeah.
is $2 million.
Yeah.
And then their turbo study, which is the 930 turbo,
865, I heard.
is
Yeah.
865,000.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds right. Yeah,
Well, you're buying exclusivity, and
Yeah.
you're buying attention.
yeah.
Yes.
But-
I always say the dry cleaner guy, the guy who owns the chain of dry cleaners that needs some excitement in his life, he buys that Singer. He's got something exciting in his life.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just aesthetically, they're all just freaking amazing. Like they're
all beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Those Emerys, by the way, there's one like a Gammon looking one, and then there's like a America Roadster looking green thing. They're on the ramp over there. Just so good looking. Just
Exemplary.
But I will say what
shockingly
is
beautiful.
interesting about all those builds. They're expensive, they're exclusive, the engineering's amazing. In a lot of ways, each one is highly focused in a different direction. But because of that 911-based powertrain, and because of the size and shape of the cars, they're all pretty usable as cars.
Right.
It's not like getting some, like a Koenigsegg or, one of those weird, like, Apollo things or
Right.
some,
Yagubian,
like-
the Yagubian special.
Yeah. Like you could,
They're like a roof.
It's
They're a roof
narrowly
911.
focused, but you could use it as a car almost every day if you wanted.
Yeah.
They're not too annoying to live with.
Except for the price.
Well, the price
Except
is
for
you got to
the
swallow.
price.
You got to pay the cost to be the boss, Spike.
What else have you guys seen here that really that you really loved?
I mean, the 550 Spider. Anytime I get to see a real 550 is like to me, it's a dream come true. It's hard to beat.
I mean, Jewish Racing Gold here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this Jewish Racing Gold 993. It's got
Wow.
like every ridiculous option on it. It's very, very cool. The fact that they've put it right in front of this stage really tracks with this crowd.
It's a proper setting for us.
It's ridiculous. And I keep going back. Our pal Todd has a 916 inside here.
That thing's insane.
Which is not a 914.6. It's a 916, and it's this blue with the wildest psychedelic interior.
Factory.
That is factory. It looks insane. It looks like the kind of thing I would do custom, but it actually left the factory.
Does that have the 8-cylinder engine in it?
No, it's a 2.4 6-cylinder. Oh. They made 10, apparently.
Yeah, they were all prototypes.
Yeah.
And it's just
fixed
wild.
roof.
Wow. Yeah, fixed roof is...
And it's blue.
Yeah.
But the interior is like paisley.
Blue
just
paisley on black.
acid insanity, and I love it.
Yeah, it's really
Everything
good.
here is worth
a guy
taking
taking
home.
a picture of this gold car with a Police A shirt.
JRG,
Gotta get a shot of that.
Yeah.
You got to make sure. Can't wait to see that, sir. That's going to be a lovely picture.
I do like all the colors that we're seeing. I mean, there's all the silver and black has been shoved over to the side.
Yeah.
And all the fun colors are on display in the middle. And
Isn't that a big
great.
part of the Porsche thing, is the colors, the safety colors and the bright colors? I mean, if you look from right to left here, there's your roof Yellowbird.
Yes.
These are just gorgeous.
And what's funny is that, you
gorgeous
go
colors.
back and, like, cars used to be really colorful. Cars,
Yeah.
if you look at old pictures from the 50s and 60s in color, Buicks and Pontiacs are all really colorful, as were Porsches, and now everything's white, black, or gray. 39% of new cars are white, 19% are black, 19% are some shade of silver. It's like, it's great that Porsche still has color.
I just helped my father spec out a new Cayenne. And my father, I've talked about this a lot, he likes to go to a dealership and just point at something and drive it home. He doesn't want to build it. But I forced him to do it. I said, you're a successful gentleman. You're not in a rush. Let's build you something. And it took like over 2 hours to spec out this Cayenne. And he was so overwhelmed. And he said, can we just get this over there? I said, I don't think you're appreciating that they're letting you do this, that you can individualize options, individualize colors, individualize your trims, stuff that almost no other company lets you do, even at the relatively high end.
It's fun. Sometimes, though, lots of decisions get annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of what I love about some of these electric car companies is there's 3 decisions to make. You just click the little box and the car comes. That said, Zuckerman, our GT4 RS,
yes.
I clicked a lot of boxes.
I stayed out of it.
And that car is coming in a couple of months, and it's going to be spectacular. You're going to
What
be very
color?
happy. We are taking delivery at the Porsche Experience Center. I just filled out all the paperwork, your favorite sodas, your favorite food. I said he enjoys a cup of baby blood in the morning. And they're going to deliver the car there. We're going to get to drive it around the track before we take it home.
Fantastic.
Isn't that cool? And we have to thank Bert Smith and Porsche Clearwater for that, who hooked the whole thing up. They're going to fly out and do it with us, which is pretty
That's a
great.
cool
Those
thing
guys
they
are
do.
fantastic.
I don't think they even charge for that. I think if you get a GT car,
I
it's
said, give the bill to Zuckerman.
gift.
Speaking of Florida, obviously just suffered a huge hurricane.
Nothing
and
good comes after the sentence, speaking of Florida.
I love Florida. You know I love Florida. I want to go live in Florida. But they had a horrible hurricane. There were many flood damaged cars. We talked about the McLaren P1. The drive found on Copart.com, which is destroyed cars. There are currently 3 Porsche 911 Speedsters being, what do they call it? Salvaged out.
Salvaged.
Yeah,
A 991 in Meissen blue or shark blue.
It will never smell right.
An 89.
There's no such thing as a bargain.
Hold on, I'm getting to a question. 89 Speedster and the 2011, right? What was that? They had a turquoise 2011 that was so-so car, right?
Yeah.
Those 3 cars are for sale now. They're going up for auction, I think, by the time this show is posting. Is there any world where you would buy a salvage title 991 Speedster in
Zero.
a beautiful color?
0.
Why?
First off, rule number 1 of used car buying is you never buy a car with a Florida title ever. Ever.
And Georgia.
Ain't no such thing as a
And
clean
Houston,
Florida
Texas.
title.
That's right. Come
Nothing.
on, people.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Rule number 2,
Yes.
flood damage is not fixable.
The only thing worse
Why?
than...
But wait, why?
You just, there's just always going to be something.
There will always be a smell. There will always be a problem. The only guy who's going to buy that is the guy who's going to put it together cheap and sell it to some sucker.
Zuckerman, if you saw this car, you would want to buy it. It's beautiful. It's just got some mud on the seats.
Oh, sure.
Is it?
Oh, that ain't mud,
Sure.
Spike.
Yeah, that ain't mud.
It's not mud.
But
So there's no, you can't take the engine apart. We can't rebuild
it's
this
not
engine.
the engine; it's the interior. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Is it's just everything gets waterlogged. That was never designed to get waterlogged.
But you sound like you're speaking from experience. Have you ever tried this?
I know people that tried. The only thing worse than water is fire. If there's a fire, the smell never goes away because it's in the glue. The glue melts.
So Zuckerman, I bid on this 991 Speedster with a salvage title. Can I even drive that on the road?
Well, yes, of course. You can get it back on the road, but take a look. There's probably lots of threads on the internet still about Hurricane Katrina cars. There were tens of thousands of Hurricane Katrina cars that got patched up, put through Florida, other states that can clean a title, and people
Right.
were wondering what was up with the car that they bought. Why did it smell? Why didn't it work right? Why were there always bugs?
Wow. So I couldn't just put this thing on the road without doing that. I
Just
would
do
have
it.
to go
Okay, well, I encourage you to do it. I think it's a terrific idea. I changed my mind.
It's
do
also
it, please.
remember it's salt water. A lot of it's
I know.
salt water, so you're getting salt
I
into
understand,
like
but
adhesives, and
It broke my heart to see three beautiful Speedsters
We'll get you a personalized license plate, Das Boot, and you drive around, and we'll follow you.
I'm intrigued by the idea of trying to bring it back to life because of the paint.
I
You're
guarantee
intrigued by a
you
bargain,
the
I have a
math
feeling.
on that would be awful.
All
Awful.
right. All right.
It's not
You're
like you
talking
can't
me out
go
of
buy
it
a
now.
Speedster if you want a Speedster. It's not like you can't buy one in that color.
or better yet, drive Paul's. It's just
Yeah.
sitting
I
there.
did. That's
Yeah.
what made me want to buy this car.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was also just the paint. All right. Well, I
You'll
guess.
never be the same again.
All right. Fair enough.
You know, I've always wondered who in my audience doesn't have life insurance and why. So I want to tell you about the folks from Gerber Life. Did you know that Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance provides valuable whole life insurance protection to help cover your final expenses? It's true. It can help with expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debts. It helps protect your family from the financial burden of your final expenses. If you're between 50 and 80 or 50 and 75 in New York, your coverage is guaranteed with this policy regardless of your health history. There are no medical exams to complete or lengthy health questionnaires to fill out. Simply visit GerberLifeFamily.com. And premiums don't increase over time. The amount you pay when coverage begins is the same amount you'll pay throughout the duration of your policy. Just answer 4 easy questions to get your free personalized quote instantly by visiting GerberLifeFamily.com. See website for terms and restrictions. Okay, let's get back to Luftgekuhlt and the crazy crowd.
Should we do some questions? If anybody has a question, you can come up here and ask, and we'll do a few minutes of that, and then we're going to give away some Zuckerman heads. Hello, sir. I got
No
it.
possible way any
What's
of this
your
could
name?
go wrong.
Andy,
Andy, what's your question? How many beers have you had, Andy?
just the one. All the way from the UK. Andy, 993 Andy on Instagram.
Okay, this isn't a time to plug your Instagram account, sir. Question.
So, also do a podcast in the UK called Nine Works Radio.
You're plugging again. What? Do you have a question?
How do you get a successful podcast?
Oh, God. Oh,
Dumb luck.
God.
Bad luck.
You know, you don't stop doing it. And you've got to do it every
Yeah.
week for 3 years.
Yeah.
You've got to invite people like this on who have followings
Yeah.
of their own. And you've got to put together an interesting show. And then it will kind of, you've got to also listen a little bit to the feedback of what people have to say. And I would recommend in the first week or two, put Jerry Seinfeld on it.
Yes.
And that really helps.
That's a good
does.
tip.
Yes, good tip.
Yeah.
We did the
Anybody else
Smoke
want to
Entire
plug their
podcast.
podcast
Yeah.
or have a question?
Anybody else got a car for sale or anything you want to
We did the
plug?
Smoke
If
Entire
not,
for 3 years
we can
before
go
selling
right
a single
to
ad.
our. Anybody want to play a game and win a stack of Zuckerman heads? Come on up. Who does? Someone must want a stack of Zuckerman heads. Just come on up here.
Hey.
All right, here you go. This is a really simple game. I'm going to ask you a question, and you just have to pick out the right answer. First of all, what's your name?
Gio.
And you're wearing what? Tell everybody what's on your hat.
I'm wearing Bass Pro Shops.
He's wearing a Bass Pro Shops hat to the Porsche show. A round of applause for that. Hello.
It's ironic,
Is
Spike.
this your girlfriend?
It's an ironic
Nah.
Bass Pro Shops
Okay.
hat.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. I'll put that right here on my face. Okay, here's the question. And it's an easy one. Guys, you have the lines you're supposed to read. Zuckerman,
I've lost mine already.
You lost your paper.
No, he can read off mine. It's
Okay,
good.
here you go. Which of the following is not something that has been written about Jonny Lieberman? Is it A, Johnny, you look like an unmade bed?
B, why would Mercedes give a Jew a car to review?
C, instead of reviewing cars, you should be running barefoot through the desert.
And D, you are the new Jason Camisa. Fake, phony, oozing bullshit.
All right, there are your choices. Johnny, you look like an unmade bed. Why would Mercedes give a Jew a car to review? Instead of reviewing cars, you should be running barefoot through the desert. Or you are the new Jason Camisa, fake, phony, oozing bullshit.
I'm going to go with C because it's light.
They're all correct. They were all said about Jonny Lieberman. Give him some heads anyways to go. We're almost done here, folks. This
The
is your
twist
chance.
is they were
Give
all
him a
said
stack.
about Johnny on
we
one
bought
video.
Thousands of them.
They're all from the
Who
same
else wants to
post.
play? We have 2 more questions. Come on up. Please don't plug your husband's podcast. All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Which of the following phrases is not a Zuckerman quote? Which of the following is not a Zuckerman quote? Is it A, I'm going to strangle you?
You've got mashed potatoes for brains.
That's B. C.
Every time you think, you weaken the nation.
Or D.
You're a maggot. That's what you are. A short-fingered maggot.
All right, here you go.
Oh, they've got to be all his phrases.
That's wrong. No. No, the answer was C, and that is a Mo from the Three Stooges quote. Every time you think you weaken the nation, because Mo and Zuckerman sound alike. But give her a stack of Zuckerman's heads.
Yeah.
We have one more question before we go about the Porsche 996. If anybody thinks they are a Porsche 996 expert, come on up. We'll take care of you.
All right.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Joe.
Joe, nice to meet you.
Are you a tech at Porsche Santa Clarita? You're the Porsche Pro at Porsche Santa Clarita.
What does the Porsche Pro do?
They essentially help to educate customers who are a little uninitiated on Porsche and other things like that.
You realize if you get this answer wrong,
It does
you're not going to be
ref-
much of a Porsche Pro.
No, I'll have to file my resignation.
Okay,
it will
here
not
we go.
reflect well on Bo Bachman.
Last question of the show. Here we go. Which of these is not a problem usually associated with a Porsche 996? Is it A, IMS bearing failure?
B, rear main seal leaks.
C, cylinder cracking and scoring.
D, dual mass flywheel failure.
All right. IMS bearing failure, rear main seal leaks, cylinder cracking and scoring, or dual mass flywheel failure. What is your answer?
As a former service advisor, I'm going to answer D.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. He did it.
Wow.
Give him a stack of
You
heads.
bring honor to your dealership, your boss, and your country, sir.
That's not even a stack. That's like 3. I
He's
bought
cheap.
1,000 of
What a
these. Here you
cheap-
go.
Bo is pleased.
Say hi to Dean Maroney for us,
Yeah.
our friend over there.
We like Porsche Santa Clarita. That's a good store.
There you go.
They have
Well,
a
that's
glass
all we have
floor.
for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
out.
thank
We
you.
want you to enjoy the show. Again, we want to thank Patrick Long. We want to thank Jeff Zwart and everybody who puts it on. If you want to come up and take a selfie with us, I'll do it just like this. You can stand right here, and we're going to post it on Instagram on Wednesday. Thank you very much. Yay! Come on up now. Come on up, crowd up with us.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Don't you love an extra $100 in your pocket? Have a TurboTax expert file your taxes for you by March 31st to get $100 back instantly. Because no matter what moves you made last year, TurboTax makes them count. That means getting $100 back and 100% accurate taxes, only from Intuit TurboTax. Must file by 3/31. Credit only applicable to federal filing fees with TurboTax full service. Offer can be modified or terminated at any time.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.